Hey guys, welcome back to RoyalBluFX. As we all know, we're going to talk about the weekly review today on this video. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. All right, so here we are. We took a lot of trades this week. Most of them were just scalping. And we took about, let me see, and how many pairs were we looking for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think about 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pairs that we were looking at this week. So, and we scalped a lot. We made some good money on the trades. So, without any further ado, here we go. Starting with gold. Gold, we always looked at we looked at the 1 hour as our higher time frame, and sometimes we just looked at the 5 minute as our higher time frame and went all the way down to the 15 seconds right here to enter these trades. So let's start with the trade here. I believe it was here. Sorry, it was right here. Yeah, right here. So this one right here, we were actually looking for a sell here. And the reason for that being is because, and let me even drop down to the 15 minute. That might even help. Okay, right here. It was clear to me whenever we had a break of structure, we always look for the market to pull back and touch an order block and then take off, right? But I was, like I mentioned, I was just scalping. I wasn't trying to really take big trades this week. So I saw this area here, and I saw that this area here was on decline. If I could cut this over here and show you guys what I'm talking about. I was here on the 1 minute like this. And what I saw in this area here was price pulled back, touched an order block here. Okay. And once it touched this order block, price was, I saw order flow here in the markets right here. Once I saw order flow, I was looking to see where the best possible entry would be. And excuse me, guys, I just sneezed. All right, so here we go. After we see the order flow, the market pushing down, it's a sell biased, obviously, bearish bias. I aligned every break of structure, and then what I was challenging myself here was to see liquidity, right? Because in order to make the next suggested move, we need to look at where there's potential liquidity lying. And apparently there's liquidity here. I mark this as a break of structure for some odd reason. I don't know why, but this is considered liquidity because you got 1 top, 2 top, right? And it's a double top. So, and there's liquidity here as well. So I look back to see where the most possible position would be for market to come and tap. It tapped this area here, this unmitigated order block here. And once it was tapped, I didn't rush into the trade to sell it off from here. As you can see, I was waiting for my break of structure. Now I see the order flow going up here. It was push phase, retrace, push phase, retrace, push phase, right? No serious break of structures above this order block. So therefore, I was looking for what I would consider this area right here, a chotch. A chotch just stands for a change of character. Just changes the direction of the direction of the flow of the market. Once price broke this area here, right there, I noticed that price had to go back up to an order block, which would be this area here. All right, and then price took another dip below. And I noticed this is unmitigated, so we needed to sell immediately, right when price pulls back, and therefore I put my risk right here, just barely. I kind of got tapped out a little bit, but then I was like, all right, let me just see what market should do here, because I know it should go down, and without any other further ado, price just took off, well, for 17 right there for 17% win. So that was that for that particular trade. Let's continue forward and talk about the next ones. I believe I took another one here. No, it wasn't there. It's right there. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's go down to this one and talk about this one now. Now, this wasn't a very smart one, I think, that I took here, but oh no, it was. It was actually two of them. Sorry. So I took these ones. Yeah, I took both of these. There's two of them here. This one again, I was just following order flow on the 1 minute time frame, and then I entered these on 15 seconds, I believe. What I saw above here was liquidity. The way I took this initial trade here was because price tapped took this order flow, and I understood price should push down. And as any trade I take, I always target the current low or the current high, depending on the direction I'm taking. In this case, I'm just targeting the current low because the price is pushing low or going down, right? So let me see if I can enter the 15 seconds. Here we go. So I took this 15 second trade because we had an area where price was giving up here. It had a break of structure or a chotch. Again, if you take your line chart, you'll see that price came up, paused a little bit, and pushed it up. So this was considered my chotch area, and then price broke, okay, and dipped again a little below. I understood that this was my unmitigated area where price had to come and tap, and so forth. And it did, and it just took it right away for a mere 10% on this trade. And then I immediately took a buy from this area here because I understood that price never broke this low here, and then never broke the other low down here as well. Find it. It's all the way farther back there anyway. It's not that important, but once it gave me this rejection of this low here, I immediately just took a buy because I knew price should go up, and then obviously it did. I believe I cashed out on this trade because I was waiting for it to hit this high as well. I believe I cashed out somewhere like right in this area, and then didn't take the whole percentage on this one, so it was about 8.4% in this trade. So that's how this one went. Let's continue forward to our next trades because we have a lot of them to cover today. Let's go forward and play it forward. All right, here we go. So let's go to this one here. Okay, so obviously, again, I've been just scalping on this one. I believe on the 5 minute is where I saw this. No, yeah, it was a 5 minute right there. The 5 minute, I saw that I had another chotch right there. So my objective was to sell, not to buy here. I knew that there was a demand area here waiting for the market to go push up potentially. We were at this area here before I took this trade. Again, one thing I saw here was when I saw a consistent order flow and a consistent breaks of structure like this, all I did was I identified where my liquidity was. We see that there's an inducement close to an order block right here, an order block that you can't spot, you can't see based off the wick, because the wick is essentially the order block. So once the market tapped my order block here, I took a snipe on this and then targeted this demand level and exited with a mere 11.5%. And that was a healthy, beautiful trade. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Nothing here, nothing here. Okay, we're coming close to this one here. Okay. So I'm going to zoom into this one here. This one's rather interesting. We looked at the 5 minute here. We saw that there's order flow going up. Okay, the market's pushing up. Everybody can see that, right? And then I took an immediate buy here once I saw this break of structure and it came and touched my order block. Let's go on the 1 minute. It might even help better to understand what I was looking for here. Right here again, once I saw the break of structure, I saw there's liquidity, then this inducement here where price was just a few pips away from touching my order block. And once price took out this liquidity here, I took an immediate buy with an appropriate risk, targeting this high. Now, mind you, my target was here where it says target, right? So once I pulled this back a little further, it tapped my area of supply here. And I saw that all this liquidity was taken out, yet there's no liquidity in this area here for price to go back other than maybe this high. Now, I don't know what made me decide. I think it was at this time, I believe it was just kind of a gut feeling or something at this point, but I exited the trade immediately right around this area here because it just didn't feel right. I didn't see why price should go up any higher other than maybe this liquidity here, this external liquidity. But I think when you back up, when you zoom out, you can see clearly here that we were on a sell bias right here, right? We had a break of structure here with this wick ending out below. Price was doing a pullback. And then, of course, had I been maybe a little more organized, I would have understand that there's a clear supply level here for price to continue further down. So maybe this target here wasn't a healthy choice, but, you know, good thing that I had my gut instinct. Somehow I just knew it, and I just took out my trade out there. And then once I had that gut instinct, and I saw that we had another chotch here. I believe we entered this on the 15 seconds. Let's go back here. Right there. Okay, so it wasn't quite a chotch, but what I did notice was once price is giving up, once price gave up here, right, it tapped this order block. It gave up once and twice. What I was looking for was really primarily just a break of structure. Now, this isn't considered a chotch, it's just called a break of structure here, because a real chotch would be considered this low and this high, and the price has to break this low like this to change the direction of the market, right, or to have the name change of character. And there wasn't a change of character yet. But the change of character lies here, as we see, right, because we have that low, that high, price broke it, came back to an order block. I could have sold again. I don't know why I didn't sell there, but my targets were this low here of this demand area. Sure enough, I hit the target nicely and I exited out of the trade with 18.3%. And this one wasn't 11.9%, that's for sure. Let me check what it was. Somewhere around like 5.4%, I guess. So yeah, it was still a good trade. You know, I exit out early, just out of gut instinct. That was it. Let's continue forward and see if there's there's a few more here. All right, here we go. Let's fast forward this. Okay, so clearly I was in the 5-minute here. Again, I saw the direction of the market. Price was pushing up. Order flow is healthy, pushing upwards. And usually when I'm on a higher time frame, I'm treating my 5 minutes as my higher time frame. I'm always marking out liquidity. The break of structures first, and liquidity. Where is liquidity lying at all times? Because there are times where the markets can just, you know, easily manipulate you. You know, when you're on your higher time frame, you may be thinking, well, this is my order block here, okay, because price just broke here, so I'm waiting for price to come back to take price higher. That is the typical case of, you know, trading smart money. But once you understand that there is liquidity that's influencing sort of the next move, or influencing, you know, the market as well, there's a huge potential that the market's just going to come back and take out the liquidity. So my intention here was to really watch out for this liquidity to be taken out, and really not depend on this as my order block, but rather depend on something that's below here that's untapped after the liquidity. So we can consider this as sort of an inducement where price does tap the order block. And then once price did tap the order block, you can see and notice how I've been marking out my liquidity, just kind of paying attention to it, because you know, we know that price is going to have to go towards that direction to take it out later, or whenever it wants to. We saw the reason why we entered this trade here was because we had a chotch right here. Didn't mark it out, but it's right there. We noticed the liquidity above, A lot of it, as you can see, all everywhere. Right, we had the change of character, price came down, and I noticed that this wick was the only wick that was untapped. And then I believe I took this on 15 seconds. Let's see what I was doing. What was I doing here? Yes. So even though I had a charge on the 1 minute time frame, I was still looking for the best entry possible. And what I could see here was I had a break of structure. Once I saw a rejection of this order block here on the 1 minute, on this 1 minute order block here, then I waited for a break of structure to, confirm that price is indeed pushing upwards. I saw the break of structure, waited for the pullback, and then sniped immediately, and trusted the whole process. Really, the whole process would actually indeed take me to my target, which is right up here. So with this trade, I believe we took, let me see what it was, 25.8% right down here, 25.8%, which is very healthy. Oh, speak of the devil, look what I found here. So I entered this trade as well for a 19% take profit here. What made me decide to take this trade was, and I took this on the 15 seconds, I saw the behavior here, prices pushing up. I saw there's, liquidity here, right? And there's inducement here, and here. As you can see, I didn't take a buy here because this low is lower than this high. So it makes no sense for me to buy here, other than I could buy and just exit somewhere here where supply is about to take over, like right around, I don't know, this area here. I took my sell, obviously, but I didn't look for buys. I looked for sells completely because this low was lower than this high. So it just only made sense to take a sell here. And plus we had a chotch, not a break. I mean, break of structure or chotch, whatever you would like to call it here. And then I waited for price to, let me see here. Yeah, I believe I had a liquidity taken out from this high right there, and that's what made me want to take this trade based off of this wick here, taking out this liquidity, and then taking a sell here. Just and that confirmed me that this was a true sell for me. Yeah, so that's that for that one. Let me see if I have any others here on this particular pair. Yes, I do. 2 or 3 more. Sheesh. We really did a lot of damage to gold this week. All right, this is another trade I took. I was on the 5 minute. I saw the order flow pushing up. I saw that this was our current high. I saw the miners taking over the substructure right here. So miner structure took over. We saw there's complete break of structures. Once we were in this area here, we saw a break of structure. We saw the liquidity was indeed taken out here. Now we needed for price to get back to an order block. And the order block was obviously here with this unmitigated area. And then I took this buy to take out, to tap this supply area here where this area was unmitigated. And sure enough, it worked out for the best. And we took, what, a 17.7% home for that one. And let's see the others. Okay, let's go here. Okay, the reason why I took this sell, this is a very interesting one. We saw the order flow on the 30 minute pushing down from high to low. From high to low. Okay, price breaking here. So this would be the next high and this would be the next low. So this would be high and a low, right? And so I don't know why I didn't have this marked out as a break of structure, but I was just going for the kill, I guess. Okay, once the break of structure happened, we were on the 5 minute kind of trying to decipher where the market should go and tap. And I looked backwards to see where the markets haven't tapped yet. This is an unmitigated order block that price has never touched. Oops. Right up here, this blue one. We saw a break of structure here. price never went to tap this order block. So once the order block was tapped, I then went on the 1 minute like this. And then let's see, right here. Again, I took a very, very interesting trade here. It's a very good trade indeed. We saw another rejection right here. This high didn't really pass. Well, it did pass by a little bit, but I saw the momentum pushing down here right in this area. And then I saw some liquidity right there, right here and right here. And then once price rejected this liquidity area here, I took the sell for a 36.5%, targeting this demand area. And then that was the rest for that. Let's see what other trades there are here. Get to anything else. Let me see here. Oh, and last trade, took a very small one here, right there. Zoom right here. Okay. So I believe I took this one, not on the 1 minute, I took it on 15 seconds. And it was a rather nice one, actually. What I saw again was an area where price was rejecting to push above this high, right? So it barely even broke, but it rejected and it came down. And I thought, okay, well, it broke some structure here, so I'm going to just take the sell immediately, and took the sell. And trusted the whole process and target my current demand. And that's it for gold. I believe that was it. Let's see. Okay. Silver, we had similar, kind of a similar thing to it. We were, just scalping a lot. Let's see, where did it go? Okay, right here. We had this area here where we were looking at. We saw order flow pushing down. The market's pushed all the way above here, and then once the market's pushed above, I noticed I noticed an unmitigated area here. Price tapped us in, and then I didn't enter it immediately. Of course, I needed to wait for some sort of rejection. Although I did look for a little buy here on the 15 seconds, which was not a big deal. And I understood that, okay, this is a reverse. We were rejected here once. We saw that there was liquidity that the markets took out here, right there. And this move here, which is also called the FU candle, other various names for this, this area right here, just took out this high right here and then started pushing down. So I immediately took the sell from here based off of that understanding. Now, notice when liquidity is usually taken out, price just starts shooting down fast. And I have no time to there's really no time for a pullback or a break of structure. There is a break of structure, but there's no time for the markets to come and tap an order block, like right here. And prices are just bearish like crazy. So I decided to just take it immediately because I knew price should go down after this break of structure right here. Let's talk about this trade quickly and why I took it. I took a buy here and then noticed that, okay, well, I got tapped out, right? Now, the reason why I shouldn't have taken a buy, and I'll tell you this. Well, let me just tell you why I took a buy. Because we had a lot of liquidity here. So what I was trying to do was trade where liquidity is, trade towards the liquidity. But one of the main important factors here that sort of slipped out of my mind was that we shouldn't be trading towards liquidity. We should trade it after liquidity is taken out, and then towards the direction that the market should go to, because we don't know where the market's going to go, what liquidity the market's going to take out first or last, So we really need to, this is why this was wrong, right? And second of all, this high never broke this high, therefore this is not a buy. And I learned that, I mean, I knew about that. I was like, of course, how dumb of me. But the only reason, another reason, and the third reason why I took this buy was actually because I saw liquidity inducement here. I saw more liquidity, then I was like, okay, well, this is my order block here, and this is where I'm going to take my buy, period. And then, everything came into a realization that, oh, I was actually trading against the market here, and that was a bad thing. So I learned my lesson on that one. And of course, I'm always going to be, losing some trades here and there, but it's not the end of the world. Second, we were trading Brent Crude Oil. Where do we take trades this week? We're trading Brent Crude Oil, so let's see where exactly I took this trade. Oh, okay, here we are. So we were here at this time, the end of the week on Friday, I believe. We saw this opportunity. I was on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, I think. Let me see the 5 minute. I was on the 5 minute. I saw that I marked my break of structures. I marked my liquidity area where price could potentially go and hit and then take off, right? So once I saw this liquidity, once I marked all my break of structures, I went on the 1 minute to look at it a little bit further to see what's going on. Once I saw this clear break of structure and this one here, I was just gonna, mind my own business again and just do what I always do by looking for a sell opportunity. I sold this one right away because we saw all this imbalance in here, and we saw there's only one candle that was unmitigated. And unfortunately, you shouldn't typically take trades like this where you just sell immediately, like I just did. But we had more liquidity here where I felt like, okay, well, price can tap this, take all this liquidity out, and continue down, pushing to our target here to this current low. And thankfully it did that, but next time it may not do that, but this shouldn't be a trade where you should just take right away without any, confirmation. Like we need to wait for the chotch like this. There was a beautiful chotch here, and then I waited for that pullback in this market, then I took another sell here. So we took home 14.8% and then 14.8% on this one too. And we targeted the same low. Risk 1% on in each trade. So yeah, there you go for that. We have a similar thing going on here on West Crude Texas Oil. We saw that there's a break of structures. We're looking at this order flow here. The subs going down. We had 1, 2, 3 break of structures here. Of course, I would have loved for the market to push all the way back here, to tap the order block, but it didn't do that. It was, I went down on the 5 minute, I believe, to see what was happening. I saw that there's liquidity here and here, and price tapped this area already, and it rejected it and pushed. So it took out liquidity from here and started pushing low. Once I was here at this time, I was trying to figure out, okay, well, the markets are down. So when you look at, order flow again, so there's a break of structure here, another break of structure here. Then I checked out that there's liquidity here and here. You can clearly see the double tops right there, right here and right here. And the only thing that told me, I got to be a little more patient, was I didn't sell off from here right away. I had to wait a little more. There was a chotch that happened here. And then let me go on the 15th, on the 1 minute actually. Right there. Yeah, so once I saw this area form, I guess I wasn't here at the time, but price just pushed above. Yeah, price pushed above, as you can see. There's order flow pushing up. So it's going up, extension, pullback, extension. Once this happened, I realized all the liquidity was here. This is my sell-off. And this is where I confirmed that this is a good sell. We made 26.7% on this trade. So that was a dynamite. Then the same thing happened again here. We had a break of structure, pulled back. We had inducement here. Then I looked to sell off of this inducement, and I sold it. Price went against me, and that was, one loss on this one. Then I thought to myself, well, gee whiz, the market is still down. I know I took the wrong trade, but then I saw more liquidity here and here. I thought, okay, well, this is still a sign for me to look for the sells. So I looked just right above a candle that was unmitigated, wasn't touched at all. I placed my order block zone here, and I took the next sell and targeted our current low here. And this is where I finished well off with an 18.1%. So this is a pretty good trade. The next one we'll talk about is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we took a few. We looked at the 1 minute as our higher time frame and entered on the 15 seconds, which is insanely crazy, obviously. We took a sell here because we thought that, well, let me just put it this way. It was a terrible trade, obviously, but I'll show you the reasoning behind it as to why I took it. Where was it? Right there. I saw that there's an unmitigated order block right up here to the left. Then when I extended this area here, again, I noticed that we had to break the structure and the price was giving up here. Let me just mark this as a different demand area here. Price tapped our order block once, rejected once, and rejected twice. And once that happened, to me, I'm like, this is golden. This must be the sell from here, because I'm just going to target the next demand level, which is right here. But it was actually here, to be honest. It wasn't down here. So I don't know what I was looking for at this time. Oh, I marked out my liquidity right here. So notice how I was trying to take a sell here and trying to target this low because based off the liquidity here, this inducement that was very close to my order block. And that's what told me, okay, the market should be down there. It should be going down there. But what I lost track of was the order flow going up. But there was order flow going up. So why should this be a sell? And also, we had to break a structure, which never guaranteed us a potential sell downwards, right? Bearish. So this was just creating liquidity inducement from up here, from the external and the internal right here. There's internal liquidity right here. So this told me, okay, well, the markets are a buy, obviously, duh. Here's our order block right here. There's where we get tapped in. There's where the push phase happened. So that's how it went down. Once we saw this next break of structure over here, from this break, price came back. I realized, okay, well, we're a buy, obviously, and I need to be buying. And then my target was this current high over here at this area. I identified this break. The reason why I was identifying this as an order block and not maybe potentially this was because we had two areas where price pushed very fast. Right here was one, and this is another one here too. Okay, so this area broke the structure. This area here broke this structure. So we had two areas to play off of. I found the first one and took it. If this one failed, then I would have taken the second one. And then we had our TP all the way up there at the current high. I didn't take a buy here. I was kind of looking to take a buy for whatever reason, but then I noticed, oh wait, I shouldn't be taking a buy because we have a low and a high here, a low and a high. Price rejected here, and it rejected here. It rejected this high as well. So why should I be looking for buys here? It didn't make any sense to me, so I didn't take it and let the whole thing go through. Once we had a chotch here and here, I looked for the pullback, obviously, to the order block or the supply area. I took a sell on this one for a good 6.1%, targeted this demand area, and then it cashed out. And that was that. This one was nothing. I wasn't here when I was trading, so I was looking for buys here, but nothing happened, obviously. It did tap one of my demand areas here. Price pushed up nicely. All right, we got 4 more to go. So we traded the US 30, the Dow Jones this week as well. The way I identified this was I believe I was in the 15 or 5 minute in this one here. I saw the order flow pushing upwards, very healthy here. And then I understood the price was rejected this this supply area here. It rejected here, but then I was still looking for the buy here. And I was, let's see, let's look at this. I was on the 1 minute here. I saw that price rejected here, right? Came back, created liquidity inducement, and I marked that out, and I waited for the market to come back again to actually tap it. Once the market tapped it, I clearly just targeted this current high, got 8.4% out of this market, and was out. So this was a beautiful trade, no doubt about that one. The last one we took, looked at the 5 minute again, try to see what was the behavior of the market. We had liquidity. We had a break of structure. That's for sure. That's one thing. I don't know where I was at the time. I guess didn't take a buy here. Although this would have been a nice buy. But we understood that this area took out liquidity, and it also it tapped the order block right up here, right there. So my only conclusion to this was, well, we need to be selling. Clearly, I was on the 1 minute and had this beautiful break structure or chotch right down here. Waited for the markets to come right back to an order block. And what I noticed over here was, hold on a second. What I noticed here was we had inducement right by this order block, liquidity. Price tapped it. I took a sell without any questioning or any doubts and targeted this demand. And sure enough, everything worked out for the best. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about this trade here. All right, so what we were looking for here was, well, let's begin with this trade right here, actually. We were looking at this on the 5 minute right here. And we realized that the market was pushing down based off of this chotch right here. Once we saw this chotch again, it just only confirmed to me that we were looking for sells. Price tapped our supply level. Price was pushing down. So I was looking to take the extension of this supply level right here. And I was seeing that price was breaking structure. Let's go down to the 1 minute so I can show you guys a bit more. Right here. All right, so I see price was just breaking structure, and that's when it showed to me that I was looking for sells immediately. Once I sold, I saw that price tapped our supply level here, and then I immediately sold, and I got out of this trade. I actually didn't even stay in this trade all the way till this low here, but I got out earlier around here actually, because again, I just understood that I took the sell on an impulse reaction. It wasn't necessarily a really planned out trade that I looked for, but it did work out for the best, and I was glad that I exited out early. The next trade, the other trade we took, was a really nice one. Again, we had a break of structure right here. We waited for the pullback, for the market to pull back. I saw an area of inducement and liquidity, and I marked out this area to be the best order block demand level for me to take, and I just sniped right away, and I targeted this area here first as my first target, and then I look to target the highs of this, I believe. No, not here. Yeah. I just actually I exited this high at this high right here, where demand was here. Sorry, the supply was there. So this is where I look to exit right here. I don't know why I had this up here. It's right up here the whole time. So we exited out at 12.7% on this trade. The only thing I always look for is really just order flow. If I see order flow, I will look to have interest into that market. If not, then I can care less about the markets. The other trades I took was right here, where we had more. Well, this was interesting, to be honest. This was order flow. We saw that there's a break of structure below. We saw that the order flow was pushing down. It was a sell. And then what occurred to me in this area was, okay, well, we had the supply level tapped. Price came all the way down. I was looking to sell all the way down, which I did, obviously, here at this point, right here. And then once I looked to sell here, I was marking out all my liquidity out. Saw the CHOCH, the break of structure, right? Price didn't come to where I was looking for to sell it. So price kept pumping down and pushing lower. It did another break of structure. Then I found out where my next order block was. I marked that out, and then I used my 50%, this little tool here, where it just cuts 50% of anything. So I wanted to risk 50% of my 1% risk here, because I couldn't really understand if price was going to continue all the way down or push down a little bit and then tap me out and continue. I'd rather lose 50% of my 1% than instead of 1 whole percent. So I did a pretty good job. I did tap my demand level. I hit 20.8% on this trade, and then once it hit my demand level, the reason why I marked here as my demand level was because we did have a very impulsive reaction here. Price broke the structure here. So this was a buy, and there was another area for potential buy here, which was this area as well. But then the reason why I didn't choose this demand level because of this one, because we saw that there's liquidity. And liquidity is the only thing that really saved me out of this trade, out of taking the wrong buy here rather than the correct buy here. This isn't actually liquidity. I don't know what I was doing there, but it's this and this. This is liquidity. So I took a buy here initially, and trusting the process that the markets will, in fact, go up, and hit either my supply area, because price was still technically a sell here. It's not a buy yet. And price did a CHOCH here, broke structure, came back to an order of demand. I saw more liquidity here, a buy and a buy. Sorry, I saw more liquidity here where price pushed up, never touched our order block. And then it's considered inducement. Some more liquidity here that price should come out and take out. But we saw this internal liquidity, took a buy off of this area and targeted all the way back at the supply area where I thought price was just going to stop and, potentially reverse. So, and this is where I hit my take profit, and that was it. I took 13.4% on this one and a 15.3% on this one. So it was a pretty good trade overall, to say the least. These, I also looked at the UK 100, took a few other trades here. Let's look all the way over here. We started on the 5-minute right here. We saw that price was bullish the whole time. You see the order flow is pushing up. Although we did touch a main supply level on the higher time frames, and once it tapped, I was looking for a potential sell. To be honest, I was on the 1 minute, and then from the 1 minute, I was looking for a sell because I saw all these highs here not breaking. Like this high here didn't break this high. Okay, this high here didn't break this high. So I was like, okay, well, this looks like a good opportunity to sell. And the only reason, again, why I sold here is because price created this liquidity here for the markets to, I guess, for the banks to come and take out this liquidity and to take the sell. So I was looking for areas of the market where the markets could potentially come up to and take a sell. Now, this would have been the appropriate order block right there, as we see And then I took a snipe on this one and then targeted this demand level here where price actually broke. Price broke structure here. So, and then I took a buy, as you can see from here. Took a buy, and I was targeting somewhere higher than this. But then what's funny is, whenever I buy, I always target the current highs or the current lows. That's it. Because anything above or below past the last high or past the current low isn't guaranteed for the markets to go any further. Although price did go up a bit, it did break above, but that was it. I could have probably just targeted here and it would have been fine, obviously, and exited the market. But instead, I targeted something even higher, which I couldn't see. And then I got out of the market somewhere around this area because I understood that there's a chotch here. Now price is reversing from here. And so that's what happened. And then I took another buy here, understood that price broke structure. I was going to look for an order block here, as I did. This order block is unmitigated. So is this, and then the market created liquidity here for potential, probably drop maybe, and then maybe another strike here to take price back up. So something like this I always look out for. Of course, I didn't make it with this trade. The market took me out completely at a break even here, so I got out just fine. But yeah, the market was starting to sell off from here, as we only know why, obviously, because the markets are bearish here. There's a supply level here where price just was able to take price down. So that was pretty cool, I guess. We were on US 100. We also had this is a very interesting trade, by the way. I was sort of kind of rushing into this trade. But what I noticed here, I was on the 5-minute, noticed the market was starting to reverse. And then we see this beautiful setup here. Once I get to it right here. I saw that the market, we had a break of structure. And I saw that we had an order block or a wick up there, potentially an area price was unmitigated. And then once price got here, I sniped right away. And then noticed that, okay, well, this was incorrect. Because we had an area, this market here was bullish already. It broke our substructure. The miners broke the sub immediately. And so what I needed to wait was for the market direction to change, to have maybe another chotch here potentially like this to take and wait for the pullback and then take the sell. But that's not what I did. And so this is where I lost this trade completely, which is totally fine. You got to accept losses here once in a while. But the whole analyzation wasn't entirely wrong. It's the fact that I should have waited for a confirmation for my entry. And that's why I lost this trade. So don't do that because it's very bad. We have another area here. We were on the 5-minute, I believe. We were on the 5-minute. Saw that the order flow was coming down to a demand level. We had a clean break of structure here. So this told me, okay, we were looking for buys, obviously. The markets, and then the pullback here, the retracement was bearish the whole time. And we had order flow here. We had a break of structure here, here, and here. So this told me, okay, well, it's still a sell, but we're going to be looking for a buy right now. Once the market touched the order block here, or barely touched it, I saw this area gave up on this low. So I thought the only reason for me to take a buy here was, for the markets were to take, to take out this liquidity up here. Well, I don't know why I didn't mark it, and then reach this demand. Sorry, reach that supply, then to look for the sell to completely take, to completely tap the actual demand level. So my analyzation on this wasn't too bad at all. I was looking for a charge here, obviously, but once the charge happened, you notice that price never returned back to the order block here, to mitigate and then take down. But eventually, price goes up to mitigate everything, even to sell that, even when the market's never reached this. When I wanted it to, price just stopped, just so bearish, which is a great win for me, obviously. But yeah, sometimes you can't get what you always want to get, expect from the market, right? But we got to wait for them for them to happen. So that's how I did this, and we took 8.22% and then 8.9% on this trade on US 100. So that was how this whole week worked out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope this has been helpful and somehow educational for you guys. Definitely taking out my time to show you guys what I'm doing and how I'm, we at RoyalBluFX are trading all the time. If you have any questions, please definitely leave us a comment, like or dislike this video, whatever you guys like, obviously. Definitely love the honest feedback in order to improve myself in the future. So thank you guys and have a great day.